All right, for today's explainer, we're stepping into something a little different, a lot different actually. We're looking at a story that doesn't just want to be read. No, it's designed to get inside your head, to kind of break the rules of storytelling itself. Buckle up, because this one is a real trip.
So right from the jump, this thing doesn't start with a character or a setting. It starts with a feeling, a state of being. It just throws you right into this really disorienting world. You know that feeling? Kind of like digital static in your brain? This sense of being totally disconnected and overwhelmed before you've even had your coffee?
And that right there, that's the core idea we're digging into today. We're not just analyzing a plot with a neat beginning, middle, and end. The source material basically says, hey, I'm not a story, I'm a virus. It's like this infectious code designed to crash the whole operating system of how we even understand stories.
So what does that system crash actually feel like? Well, imagine your memories are like corrupted files on a hard drive. That's what it calls ghost data. It's this malware of the mind where you can't trust anything you see online. You start to feel like these gang-stalking algorithms are aimed right at you. It gets so deep that even your own core beliefs can become like a firewall, locking you out of yourself.
But okay, even inside a totally crashed system, you're going to find pockets of resistance, right? And that's what we get here. But these aren't your typical characters in a novel. The text frames them more like soldiers or maybe nodes in a network, all fighting this war against the narrative.
And this is how we meet them. Check this out. They don't have jobs, they have titles. Eric isn't just some dude, he's a prophet and pirate radio DJ. Elishaba is the most human, the most divine. And Eveline, she's a code-wrapped apocalypse. I mean, these are straight-up mythic archetypes like players in some epic cosmic game.
And this quote, it just captures their vibe perfectly. They're squatting in this house, right? And Elishaba's leading the charge, turning stuff like plumbing disasters and even frozen forks into this living piece of art. It's like a symphony of defiance. Their manifesto isn't written on paper, it's written with hammers and paint, and a total, beautiful disregard for how things are supposed to be done.
But it's not all just, creative chaos. It gets really real and really confrontational. The fight for this one house becomes a stand. It's not just about having a place to live. It's about fighting against erasure, against being priced out, pushed out, and just digitally deleted by these huge corporate forces.
And you can just feel the raw defiance in that line. It's a direct challenge, a middle finger to the machine. It's a refusal to be scared. This right here, this is the front line of their war.
So what's with this number 100,000? That's not a price tag. It's the number of pages in a Friday night file dump. Think about that. It's a legal weapon, a literal tidal wave of paperwork designed to just bury them, to make them vanish inside this black hole of bureaucracy.
And that really gets to their core belief system. For these guys, every single act is part of the fight. Fixing a leaky pipe, facing down an eviction notice, it's all a battle. Just surviving day to day becomes its own revolutionary act.
So, where is this war being fought? It's not on some distant battlefield. As we're about to see, the battlefield is the city itself. The whole city is like this living, breathing organism that's become the host for this story virus.
So you've got the two main settings, LA and San Francisco, and they're both portrayed as these kind of hallucinatory, almost programmed realities. LA is described as a circuit, like a ghost stuck on repeat. In San Francisco, they call it the circueta, the circus where the ground you're walking on isn't even real. It's just an illusion projected by data tracking cameras. Yeah, reality is, let's just say it's pretty unstable here.
And these cities are just haunted. They're haunted by this ghost data, by all the stories that got paved over. You can almost picture it, right? A cowboy waiting for a train that vanished decades ago, a tightrope walker balancing between the Salesforce towers that nobody ever sees, and you can almost hear the whispers from the alleys. Listen to me, don't forget me. It's like the past itself is rising up and fighting back.
So you're probably asking, why? What's the point of all this chaos? What's the end game here? Well, now we get to the really juicy stuff, the core philosophy, the code that's driving this whole weird viral resistance.
Okay, let's break this down, because this term is the key to everything. Recursive pharampoesis. It sounds complicated and, yeah, it's a wild concept, but the basic idea is this. You treat language like a drug, and you treat myths like computer programs. The goal is to create this feedback loop that literally hacks and rewrites reality.
It's kind of like Inception, but way bigger. Instead of planting an idea in one person's dream, you're trying to use stories to rewrite the source code of consciousness for everyone.
And they have a plan. This manifesto is basically their 4-step program for a total cognitive revolution. First, you got to break from normal, linear thinking. Step 2, you infect the system. You treat language like a virus. Step 3, you need a martyr, someone to sacrifice themselves to show everyone the cracks in the system. And finally, step 4, the payload. You execute the myth. You run it like a piece of software on the hardware of the human mind.
And this quote just lays it all out there in the rawest way possible. The goal isn't to write a bestseller or win an award. The goal is to create an unstoppable, infectious story. A virus of justice and fury that just keeps replicating itself. Something that can't be stopped, can't be contained, and can't be deleted.
So, all of this brings us to the end. Or, actually, to the lack of an end. That's the whole point. This story, this virus, it doesn't have a clean ending. It's meant to be a continuous loop, like a low hum you can always hear just beneath the surface of everything.
The city is a circuit.
The names get swallowed up.
The dead stay dead.
And that's the final crucial twist. In this world, what's lost is lost for good. But the stories, the narratives of the people who are gone, those become weaponized memories. They're the ghost data that keeps glitching the system. That's the real resistance. It's ultimate, and it never, ever ends.
And so, we're left with this one deep philosophical question that's really at the heart of this whole fractured world. In a system that feels totally pre-programmed, in a city that just runs on a loop, if you don't really have free will, does fighting back, does any act of resistance even mean anything?